Okay. Welcome everyone back to another episode of the Vibrators podcast. Today we'll be watching episode 11 of Attack on Titan final season, where Gabi and Falco will be exploring the Devil Island after escaping their prison cell.
After a long slew of awful episodes, the last one was easily the strongest. Like just good moments all around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what they're doing next.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Before we start, we have an Instagram account. If you haven't already seen. It's
Poggers, you should check that out.
The Vibrators podcast. At the Vibrators podcast. So
Straight up, we post some things on there sometimes. Every once in a while, we'll post something on there.
So yeah, make sure you check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let's get into it. Okay, all right. Wow, that was
a good.
That was good.
I like.
That was good. I dig it.
That was infuriating to watch because each time Gabi
that was
popped
the
up,
worst episode. I hated
it. each time Gabi popped up, it just made me want to fucking bitch slap her. Holy
I know. It's just like God.
Yeah, it just made me want to just like shove like a knife into her fucking throat. You know, just okay. I'm gonna stop there. This is going. YouTube, so.
What is it? I agree with Lorenzo's statement during the episode that she's pretty much just a boomer at her own age. Like every boomer acts like that. Like Jesus Christ.
No, you're wrong because you're wrong, and I was taught you're wrong.
You're wrong because people did that thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny.
Anyways, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Well, there's not too much taken from this episode alone, other than like I guess Gabi is slowly trying to understand that everyone...
she's not trying. She's a bitch.
Well, yeah, she's not fucking trying.
She's like being forced.
She's not at the point where she's giving a fuck.
She's getting forced into understanding the truth.
Yeah.
And I like how Falco is trying super. I like how Falco's trying super hard to
get along.
To get along pretty much, especially in that orphanage. Yeah. But yeah, other than that,
pretty much.
There's nothing much other than like the end part where
it kind of
they're planning on ending or planning a counterattack, I guess.
Yeah, right. They're gonna be doing a little surprise attack on the Paradise Island or whatever it is. I also really like what they did with Hange's character. Is it Hange or Hange?
Hange.
Yeah, Hange. Anyways, like the fact that they have that little what is it?
Thing at the start.
What is it? They have that fuck. Oh my God, I'm like zeroing out on words.
Is it like
Okay, yeah. Sorry, no. So she has this flashback where there was that one dude who was in prison. He was like that general guy or whatever, and she's like, someone will just take my place, and she's pretty much taking that place in terms of just the way she's like acting about, these kinds of people. Like, there will be no mercy. We won't there will be no sympathy for these traitors, right? And she's realizing she's going into that same sort of loop. I like that quite a bit.
Yeah.
The orphanage stuff was all pretty good. But yeah, I mean, pretty much the point of the episode is just Gabi being a piece of shit the entire time.
Yeah, pretty.
Like Gabi's just such a fuck.
Yeah,
like just a racist piece of shit. Oh my God.
Oh man, I don't know. Each time she just pops up now, I just want to fucking, like.
Yeah, just I don't believe in violence towards women, but Gabi, oh boy,
True. I'm all for gender equality, so. That's
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, equal fights, right?
Yeah. From what I guess we learned, this is just more exposition. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
To the next arc. In I guess the counterattack and the surprise attack that Marley's going to be conducting. there's nothing else to it, I guess.
Yeah, it was like, I wouldn't say a filler episode because it wasn't quite that, but it was definitely like a very low impact kind of episode. You know what I mean? Like, nothing really happened in the long term. I'm thankful they like made it specifically about Gabi and Falco because like they weren't in the last episode at all from what I remember. So I'm glad they did that where they gave them like almost an entire episode to themselves, right? Which I really liked.
This is really good character development for both of them, specifically for Gabi too, because like she's super fucking delusional. With the way she's thinking, so that's also really good. And I'm still anticipating when the chance for both of them to like get inherit a Titan comes up, because that'll be really sick.
Yeah, that should be a good time for sure. But yeah, there's not really a lot to point out or to talk about with this one because it's just like, it's in the middle. It does its thing well, and
I like how we say this every single time. Yeah.
I mean, there really isn't though.
Okay, but here's the thing: when there's like a huge climactic episode, there's something to talk about. Whereas with one of these, it's like, okay, like there isn't really that much to point out, right? Like every single plot, like, and this isn't super plot heavy either. Like there isn't really a lot that was like going on, right?
There's like little things that happen, like Mikasa getting somewhat flashbacks, and like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a migraine, I guess, flashing back to when Eren helps her out.
There were a lot of flashbacks in this episode for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we also got to see Hanj still try and like cope with everything that's happening so far and trying to figure out what she's gonna do for the people and for herself as well. And there's I guess there's nothing much else to do or to really say.
Well, I mean, that's pretty fair. How would we rate the vibe of this bad boy?
I'm gonna give it another 2.5. I feel like it really wasn't. It's not one of those impact episodes. It was still pretty entertaining to watch, in a way. More infuriating if anything, because Gabi's like super fucking bitch. But
that's fair. Yeah.
There's nothing really like too impact heavy that would make it a standalone 5 out of 5 type of episode. I'm still looking forward for when that happens, and it'll probably happen towards the end of the season, or even like the next season that comes out. So we'll just have to wait for that. But yeah,
for me, I would give this, I think, either a 3.5 or a 3. I don't think it's like, for me to give it like, for instance, a 2.5 out of 5. Like, I would need to have some actual problems with it, which I don't. There isn't really anything I can actually say that's bad in the episode. It's just kind of, it's just one of those middle points that's just kind of like, oh, here's some new information, and then we go to the next big one, right? Which I'm assuming the next one's going to be big, judging by
because it seems like they're planning like a coup or something.
Right, exactly. So you know what? I'll give it a 3 out of 5. That's my rating. I liked it, but it's definitely not one of the more standout episodes of the show.
That's fair. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Really?
Yes. Unironically.
Unironically.
Well, no, that's all good. Would you like to explain though? Like,
no.
4.5. That's it.
I'm just kidding. That's it. No, I could explain. Yeah, I don't know. Like Christian said, there's really nothing wrong. I found nothing wrong. I think honestly, when you guys are saying there's nothing really like important that happens, I kind of disagree with it, because like we're really seeing, like, I guess you can say, the true colors of both of these characters.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
You're kind of placed in a position where, like, it's just, you could tell it's really uncomfortable for both of them. And, like, I don't know, I just found it really interesting, the way they act. Like,
that's
normal.
As you mentioned that, I'll bump it up to like a 3.5 So like in the good really well territory.
Like
I totally agree.
I think this would probably be like my favorite episode, with like for them kind of thing. Like they're just that those characters. This is my favorite episode with them in it.
Oh yeah, like with Falco and Gabi.
yeah, this episode is like my favorite, of them interacting with other things. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I agree with that. I think the way like the character development they've given them over this episode, it really helps flesh out the characters. Like, for sure, they had moments here and there where we were able to pick up, okay, Gabi's a lot more like negative towards the people of the island, whereas Falco's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be so just blind in our vengeance. And now it's like both of them have gotten even more extreme in their thoughts, right? Especially with Gabi.
Exactly, because they're in an uncomfortable situation, and they have to cope. Gabi has to cope a little because of it.
Yeah. Right, exactly. She has to be like knocked down a peg or two in her like assessment, because like she did try to fucking kill that one girl because she like knew she was Marleyan, and it's like it's like fucking Christ, man, like Jesus, she's been only nice to you.
I'm wondering what would happen if the roles were swapped, and if they were the ones from the island and they got imprisoned in Marley. And then they escape. Well, and then would that shit happen?
Marley, they would probably kill them, because Gabi and Falco are just kind of proof that it's kind of more of like a brainwashing thing that's happening.
Yeah.
That,
of course.
All the youth, just everyone hates Eldians.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the major difference between both of them. So yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like in on this island, they're like. Of course, they know of like the Marleyans and Eldians sort of thing, but there isn't like a bias towards which one is better. It's just like, oh, they're just two other races of people, right? But like on Marley, there's like clear evidence that nobody gives a fuck about Eldians, right? Like at all.
And it's like constantly taught that Eldians are very bad and should be exterminated.
Like a lesser person. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I really hope Gabi and Falco come to that realization, because that would be kind of dope. But I guess that's just for a future episode, right? So
yeah,
agreed.
Word up.
All right,
but
cool.
Yeah, okay, word.
That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Vibrators podcast. We are the Vibrators, and we'll see you next episode.